What if Deku was in the Dino Squad? Alright, so this will be my first ever video making one of these. I've listened to hundreds of What If Dekus, and I thought since no one ever did a What If Deku dinosaur thing, I thought I may as well be the first, right? Okay, so here's what I've come up with so far. Deku was born quirkless. As he turned 4, his mother took him to the quirk doctor. The quirk doctor told him that he would be quirkless, as there is an extra joint in the pinky toe, whatever the heck that means. So, one day during middle school, Deku was at the beach. Noticing how filthy it was honestly a class field trip. Okay. And then, during the field trip, Deku sees someone is having trouble staying afloat in the ocean. Deku then rushes out there to rescue this person. Now, I'm not exactly sure what to do about this person, about, like who the gender is or whatever. Who the gender is. What an idiot, can't even assume what kind of gender he's trying to save. But Deku then manages to hang on, let me start over. Okay. Deku jumps into the water, swim towards this individual, and then encounters some sort of glowy orange ooze. Deku then gets covered in this ooze as he's trying to save this person from the water. He manages to get that person out of the water and to shore safety. The person then thanks Deku and then heads their way home. And so does Deku. The class then sees Deku and his heroicness, then gives him a good pat on the back as a good job for doing that. That was really good of you. But Bakugo, damn nerd, I could have done it faster than that. And so, right after school ended, Izuku then felt a sort of sickness emanate through him. Oh man, sorry about that. My earphones just accidentally got connected to the phone. Izuku then felt some sort of sickness. He felt off balance. He felt dizzy. He felt overheated. In other words, his temperature must have been high as heck. He did not feel so good. Izuku then enters his home. Inko Midoriya, his mother, then sees him, tries to greet him at the door, but Deku is too ill. He's too sick to say anything. He then heads to his room, and as he's taking off his backpack, he then lands in his bed and then instantly passes out. And then it's the next day. Deku is still feeling terrible. His mother then wakes him up and tries to get him ready for school, but she realizes that he's not looking very bright. Not looking very good. So she takes his temperatures and realizes that it's very high. Very high. And so she calls the school and informs him that he's going to have a sick day. And so she lets him rest. She does the old-fashioned thing where she gets a cold rag and puts it on his forehead and takes care of her child. Alright. And so, another day has passed by. Deku wakes up and he feels incredible. Like, he's never felt this good in his life before. Like, something's changed. Something inside him has awoken of some sort. But then he just brushes it off like, it's probably just a good day, I guess. And so his mother then sees him, and she sees that he's looking better. She then asks him, "Are you feeling better, Izuku? You weren't feeling so good yesterday." And then Izuku responds with, "Yeah, Mom, it's okay. I guess I was just under the weather of some sort." but I'm feeling better now. I better get ready for school. My dog's right behind me. She's yawning. Okay, put that away. Alright, so Deku then heads to school, and his teacher wants to ask him, make sure if he's okay. Deku responds with, yeah, I'm actually feeling way better, actually. And then he takes his seat with the rest of the class. And now, in the middle of the day, the teacher then talks about what the students want to do when they graduate. And so, he then talks about how Deku and Bakugo want to attend UA High. Bakugo being very angered by this, he then turns around, looks at Izuku, and then chastises him for wanting to go to the same school as him, as he wants to be the only one to go there. He then proceeds to call him a quirkless nobody. And then as he says this, Izuku looks him dead in the eyes as his eyes turn a bloodshot red with his pupils a bright yellow. Bakugo notices this and then jumps back. He then just sits down and just pretended that he didn't see anything. Thought that it was just his imagination or something. And then when class ends, Deku is packing up his things. Bakugo has approached Deku and then insults him by saying, you're not gonna get in, right? You're just a quirkless nobody. If you really want a quirk, you may as well swan dive right off of this building and hope that you'll be born in the next life with a quirk. Deku, being more persistent now, is saying, I could at least try it, right? I mean, there's nothing that you can really do to stop me. Bakugo then smirks and says, yeah? Then proceeds to take Deku's notebook of all the information of heroes that he knows so far, and then tends to burn it with his explosive quirk. While doing this, Bakugo then says, you'll never be a hero. Get that through your thick skull of yours, will ya? Then he throws his notebook out of the window and into a pond outside of the school. Outside of a pond or a wishing pond, whatever the hell those things are. Deku then gets really angry, and then he lets out a loud dinosaur roar that throws Bakugo and his two goons to the ground. Bakugo, chill. Don't you be growling now. There ain't nobody making noises. Bakugo and his squad are on the ground. Stop it. Sorry, guys, my dog is barking. Bakugo being on the ground, and so are his squad, wondering what the hell just happened. Stop it. I'm trying to tell these people a story. Come on now. Okay, so anyway, Bakugo being afraid about what Izuku just did, Izuku then proceeds to run out the door, wondering what is going on with him, what's happening. And then he runs by the pond where his notebook was thrown and proceeds to get it out of the water. Now luckily, Bakugo hasn't burnt the book to a part where it's unnoticeable or beyond recognition. Yes. Deku then heads home, wondering what's going on with him. I feel incredible, but what was that noise I made? He then proceeds to look at his hands like, could it be that I may have manifested my quirk? Am I a late bloomer? Okay, and then he's taking this sort of shortcut through this tunnel. And as he's walking by, looking at his hands, wondering what could be going on, the sludge villain pops out from the sewers as it slowly slithers itself like a snake out of the water, out of the sewer. He sees Izuku. Izuku sees him. He then proceeds to wrap himself around Izuku while saying, "Come here, kid. I need to use your body. I didn't think he would be in the city." The sludge villain then proceeds to wrap himself around Izuku while he's trying to enter into his mouth slowly. Now Izuku, wondering what is going on, being afraid all at the same time, something within him just wakens up, and as he closes his eyes, as the sludge villain approaches him even more and more, his eyes then open. The sludge villain sees his bloodshot red eyes with his yellow pupils, and claws that manifested from his fingers. Deku's instincts kill in. Okay, yeah, they kill in, sure. Deku's instincts then kill in. He then proceeds to fight back against the sludge villain while using his talons to claw at it. And at one point, the sludge villain got his eyes too close, and Izuku managed to scratch his eye, blinding him in one while there's blood emanating from it. Now the sludge villain, being in so much pain that he lost his grip on Izuku, and Izuku manages to get some good feet away from him. As Izuku thinks that this could be a good chance to run, he then hears, "Don't worry, I am here," from All Might as he pops out of the sewer. Sorry it took so long. I got kind of lost in there. And so the sludge villain... Then All Might then sees the sludge villain that he's in a lot of pain, and he looks at the kid, Izuku. "Don't worry, I shall end this. Detroit Smash!" he did to the villain. As he punched the villain, it sent out a shockwave that merely knocked Izuku over, but he managed to hold his ground. Izuku then sees All Might again. Like, "Oh my god, All Might! Oh my god, it's you! It's actually you! Man, I have all your posters, I have all your figures, I'm your number one fan. I have to say that right now. I am your number one fan." Ha ha! Well, it's nice to run into a fellow fan nowadays. Now, if you don't mind, I need you to stand back while I take care of this sludge monster. Deku then replies, "Okay." And as, alright, here we go. And as All Might collects the sludge villain into an empty bottle he found on the sidewalk. When he's done, Izuku asks for an autograph. All Might then obliges, gives him the autograph in his notebook. Alright, then Deku, being amazed that his idol just signed his book, All Might then runs away. But then Deku is like, "Wait, All Might, I have something I need to ask you. It's important." All Might responds with, "I'm sorry, kid, but duty calls. Up, and away." Wait a minute. He doesn't say up, and away. He just jumps off, okay? He just jumps off. Izuku then, in a lot of thrills, his dinosaur instincts kick in again, and he is granted... He's really fast. Like, he's really, really fast. Fast enough to catch All Might as he's jumping off. Yes. He grabs a hold of his leg. As he's jumping away, All Might notices that Deku is on his leg. He then tries to scrape him off. Deku then, being more afraid now, like he's really high up, his fears catch a hold of him, and his don't know. That was just wood. He then proceeds... He doesn't then proceeds... See, you threw me off, Taser. Don't bark when I'm trying to tell a story. His dinosaur instincts then kick in again. His eyes turn a bloodshot red, and he speaks... Okay, his senses. His dinosaur senses then kick in. His eyes. His eyes turn bloodshot red with yellow pupils, and he sees that the bottle almost got out of All Might's pocket, but manages to catch it. Now, uh, oh, I almost said All Might. Now, Deku, having his eyes, speaks in a scary tone. Don't. But I'll fall if I let go now. All Might being like, oh, sorry about that. Okay. And then as All Might and Deku and the bottle with the monster in it land on top of a roof, Deku then hands him the water bottle with the sludge monster in it. Yeah, I love you too, Taser. All Might then chastises him about being reckless, but then thanks him for not letting the sludge monster get away. Now, Deku manages to calm down. He then reverts back to his normal eyes. Deku says, I have a question. Can you please just answer it real quick? I'll be quick. All Might then obliges, says, well, okay, but make it quick though. Okay, here it is, Deku says. Is it possible to be a hero without a quirk? And as All Might looks up at him, he then gives out a sigh, and as he sighs, smoke starts emanating around his body. And as he's about to answer the question, he then reverts back into Toshinori, also known as people call him Small Might. It's very funny. Now Deku, being in shock, wondering, what's going on? Who are you? You're not All Might. Where's All Might? Toshinori then responds with, kid, I am All Might. I just happen to have a bad history with one of my enemies. Toshinori then explains his injuries and how it happened. And as he's in deep thoughts about how he explained everything to Izuku, he then answers his question, saying, no, I don't think it is possible to be a hero without a quirk. If anything, the powerless would just get in the way. You'd be better off being a police officer, and you'd probably be better off babysitting my dog and teaching her not to bark at things so easily. Calm down. Izuku, being even more shocked than before, can't believe what just escaped from his idol's lips. His whole dreams were crushed by a simple wording. Now Toshinori then leaves Deku, takes the stairs down. And as Toshinori is walking out, he then takes out his phone as it rang, but what he didn't know was that he accidentally dropped the bottle with the sludge monster in it. Also to note this, he dropped it as he was walking next to an alley. The one-eyed sludge monster then awakens. Bakugo and his goons are wondering what just happened in class today. Was that really Izuku? Bakugo then shrugs it off like, who cares? Alright. And as they as they exit the alley, the sludge monster then exits the water bottle. We then come back to Toshinori. Toshinori then realizes that the police station is just across the street. He was about to get ready to pull the water bottle out with the sludge villain in it when he realizes that the sludge villain is gone. He must have dropped it when he was pulling out his phone back then. He rushes back to where it was. And as he's right back to the spot where the sludge villain fell down, Izuku then sees him. Toshinori then asks Deku, kid, have you seen the water bottle that you caught? Izuku then looking surprised, like, no, I haven't seen it. You lost it? Oh, damn it. Yes, I did. And all of a sudden, an explosion goes off. Now, they both rush to the scene of the crime. The scene of the crime. The scene of the... Scene of the... Man, what do you call that when there's a situation going on right now and it needs immediate attention involving police, fire department, and ambulances? I don't know. We'll just say they rush to the situation. They then proceed to rush to the situation. Now, All Might and Deku realizes it's the sludge villain and he has a hostage with him. Izuku then sees the hostage and realizes that it's Bakugo. Now, I've been really thinking about this part. Should I or should I not have Deku call Bakugo Kachan? Please let me know in the comment sections down below. Now, both of the boys are feeling ashamed of themselves because they feel like it's both of their faults. Because each of them, it feels like it's their fault that the sludge villain got away. If All Might was more careful that he didn't drop the bottle as he pulled out his phone, this wouldn't have happened. But if Deku thinks that if he never interfered, then with All Might trying to leave, then this wouldn't have happened. Anyway, Toshinori then beats himself up because he feels like, well, his time did run out. Because his time ran out, he felt like he couldn't use any more energy to buff up. But then, Izuku then looks down, clenches his fist, and something inside him wakes up. He feels like he needs to take action. He feels like he needs to save his so-called best friend, his childhood friend. He needs to feel like he needs to dino out. That's not what he was saying, but that's just something that I might call each time he transforms into a dinosaur. Could you please get off my arm, Taza? I'm trying to tell a story. That's just something that I want to say each time he changes into a dinosaur. Now, Izuku then feels this rush of energy, this need to take action. He then emerges from the crowd, and as he's running towards them, the sludge villain and Bakugo, his talents then appear from his hands. His feet. You know, talents are a thing with feet. That's the thing. Talents are things with feet. His talents then appear from his feet, ripping his shoes up. His claws appear from his hands. And he is ready to shred some shit up. Excuse the language. But this is where I'm going to have to end the what if, because I can't think of a dinosaur that Deku could possibly be. If you can think of a dinosaur that would fit Deku perfectly, please let me know in the comment section down below. And also, I feel like I forgot to mention this. I don't feel like I forgot to mention this. I know I did. I forgot to mention Deku's powers. With this newfound ability, he has super speed, super strength, and he can miniaturely turn into a dinosaur. Like, at his own will, he could turn in and out of a dinosaur, and he does not lose his sanity when he changes into a dinosaur. Now, even while he's still in a small form, he can still grow talents. He can still grow talents. Dang it, Taze, you made me lose my conscience. Would just stop. Stop it. Stop. I will tickle you if you don't stop. Alright. His talents grow out of his feet, and he grows claws, and his eyes turn a bloodshot red where his vision improves and he can hear well. Those are his best features when he's in his small human form, slowly turning into a dinosaur. But he can also go full dinosaur if he wants to. But that's when I'm going to need your help. I need you to tell me what kind of dinosaur you think would best fit Deku so that this series could continue. Please. Have a nice day.